Big changes are shaking the world economy right now. Former US President Donald Trump has just made a major move in global trade. He's giving some countries a 90-day break from new US tariffs, but at the same time, he's hitting China with a huge 125% tariff on their goods. This all started after Trump said he wanted to fix what he calls unfair trade. But now, countries are fighting back, and a trade war is getting worse. Stocks are going up and down, people are worried about prices, and experts say this could even lead to a global recession. What's really going on? And how will it affect you, your money, and the economy around the world? Let's break it all down in today's report. Welcome to our channel, where we break down the biggest financial news from around the world in a way that's easy to understand. Today, we're talking about a major update in global trade. Former President Donald Trump has announced a surprising change in US tariff policy, giving a temporary break to some countries, while increasing tariffs on China to a record level. These moves have already shaken global markets, caused tension between world leaders, and raised serious questions about the future of international trade. In this video, we'll explain what's happening, why it matters, and what it could mean for your wallet and the world economy. So let's dive right into the details. And if you enjoy content like this, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Just a few days ago, former President Donald Trump announced a bold new move that's already shaking up international trade. And then came the biggest shock. Now Trump raised tariffs on Chinese goods to 125%. Accusing China of not respecting fair trade rules and retaliating against US policies. China didn't stay silent. They fired back quickly, announcing 84% tariffs on American goods, and said they would keep fighting if the US kept pushing. This back and forth has now sparked what many are calling a full-blown trade war, especially between the world's two largest economies, the US and China. After Trump's announcement, things quickly started to change in the financial markets. Stock prices dropped all over the world, and many investors got worried about what these new tariffs would mean for the global economy. But just hours after the announcement, Trump made another change. He removed the 90-day pause on tariffs for all countries, except China. Instead, he decided to keep the higher tariffs on China, adding a massive 125% tariff on Chinese goods. This means China will now face the highest tariffs of any country in the world. In the US, the government had to deal with something called interest rates. This is the cost of borrowing money, and it went up to 4.5%. The highest it's been since February. When interest rates go up, it usually means people are less likely to borrow and spend money, which can slow down the economy. People also started worrying that these tariffs could raise prices on everyday goods. For example, if it costs more to bring products into the US, businesses might raise prices on items you buy, like electronics or clothes. But just a few hours after Trump announced changes to the tariff plan, the US stock market started to recover. The S&P 500, a big stock market index, went up by 7% in just one day. The Dow Jones also jumped by 7.8%. This shows how quickly things can change when big news like this hits the market. It's a reminder that the economy can be unpredictable, and decisions made by governments can have a huge impact on what we pay for goods and services. Now that Trump has made these changes, the big question is, what happens next? The trade war between the US and China is far from over. Trump's decision to increase the tariff on China to 125% is a huge move, and China has already said it won't back down. They are also planning to raise their tariffs on US goods to 84%, which could lead to even more tension between the two countries. This ongoing conflict could hurt both countries' economies, and it could also affect countries around the world. For example, if China buys fewer American products because of the tariffs, US businesses could lose money. The same goes for China. If the US buys less from them, China's economy could take a hit. Global trade could also be affected, as countries that rely on trading with the US and China might face problems. The World Trade Organization has already warned that this situation could lead to a big drop in trade, which would cost billions of dollars. Many economists are worried that this could eventually lead to a global recession. A recession is when the economy slows down for a long time, leading to higher unemployment, lower wages, and less spending. So, even though Trump has paused tariffs for some countries, the US-China trade war is far from over. It's clear that the next few months could be very important for the global economy. So, what does all of this mean for you, the consumer? These tariffs can affect the prices you pay for many products. When the US adds taxes on foreign goods, businesses often pass those extra costs onto consumers. This could mean you end up paying more for things like electronics, clothes, and even food. For example, if the price of an imported phone goes up because of the tariffs, it might cost you more to buy one. Or if the price of clothes from overseas rises, you'll likely pay more at the store. The biggest concern is that as tariffs increase, we might start seeing higher prices for everyday items in supermarkets, shopping malls, and online stores. This could put pressure on your budget, especially if wages don't increase at the same rate as the cost of living. It's also important to know that the higher tariffs on China mean we might see fewer Chinese-made goods in stores, or they could be sold at much higher prices. Many popular products like electronics and toys are made in China, so the tariffs could have a big impact on those items. In the long term, these changes could even affect jobs. If companies struggle to sell their products due to higher prices or less demand, they might have to lay off workers, and some businesses might even close down. All in all, while the tariffs might seem like a political issue, they have a real impact on what you pay for goods and services and could affect your job and lifestyle. The big changes in tariffs didn't just get a reaction from the markets. World leaders and politicians also had a lot to say. In the US, opinions were mixed. Trump's supporters said the tariff plan was strong and would help protect American jobs. But many critics, including top Democrats like Chuck Schumer, said it was a sign that Trump was panicking and stepping back after seeing how the global markets dropped. Some people in the government said the stock market crash and rising interest rates had nothing to do with Trump's decision to pause tariffs for some countries. But others believe the pressure from businesses and investors forced a quick change in policy. Trump explained his decision by saying people were getting yippee, meaning they were complaining a lot, so he had to adjust the plan. He also said that countries who didn't fight back would get a 90-day break, while China, who did retaliate, would get harsher treatment. Other countries also spoke up. The UK said that a trade war is in nobody's interest, meaning it hurts everyone in the end. A UK government official even said that staying calm and patient during this crisis seems to be working better than reacting quickly. China, on the other hand, was very clear in its message. The Chinese government called the US actions bullying and said the US must show respect and fairness if it wants to work things out. China also said it's ready to fight until the end if the US keeps pushing with high tariffs. So globally, this trade fight is not just about money. It's also about power, pride, and politics. Each country wants to protect its own interests, and that makes it hard to find peace in trade discussions. This trade war between the US and China isn't just about taxes and money. It's part of a bigger fight about who controls the global economy in the future. The US and China are the two biggest economies in the world. Both countries sell a lot of goods to each other and to other nations. But they also compete in many areas, like technology, energy, manufacturing, and global influence. President Trump says that the US has been treated unfairly for many years and that it's time to change the rules. He believes tariffs will force other countries to make better deals with America. China, on the other hand, says it wants fair treatment and respect, and it won't agree to deals that hurt its economy. This kind of conflict is not just about trade. It's also about national pride and power. Both countries want to show they are strong and independent. But the longer this fight continues, the more it could hurt people and businesses around the world. Companies might slow down production. People might lose jobs. Prices might go up. And countries that depend on trading with the US or China could also face hard times. This is why many experts say that peaceful negotiations are better than trade wars. If both sides can talk and agree on fair terms, the world economy will have a better chance to grow and stay strong. So, this trade war matters not just to governments, but to everyone, because in today's world, everything is connected. When Trump first announced the new tariffs, global markets reacted fast, and not in a good way. Stock markets around the world fell sharply, and some experts said the losses were worth trillions of dollars. Many investors got scared that a trade war could hurt big companies, slow down the economy, and even lead to a recession in the US. Investors started selling government debt, which made interest rates rise to 4.5%, the highest level since February. That's a sign people were worried and trying to protect their money. But then, when Trump changed the plan and gave a 90-day pause to most countries, markets started to bounce back. In fact, the S&P 500 jumped 9.5% and the Dow Jones rose by 7.8%, a big improvement in just one day. This shows that investors are watching these moves very closely. Any small change in the trade policy can make markets rise or fall quickly. Some investors are now choosing to be more careful and wait, while others are looking for safe places to put their money, like gold or US Treasury bonds. Big companies are also trying to plan ahead, because they're not sure what the next step in this trade war will be. In short, the trade war is creating a lot of uncertainty, and markets don't like that. Until there's a clear deal between the US and China, we can expect more ups and downs in global markets. So, that's the latest on President Trump's new tariff changes and the growing trade war with China. As we've seen, these decisions are shaking up markets, changing how countries react, and possibly affecting prices we all pay in daily life. It's a complex situation with a lot of moving parts, and the next few weeks will be important to watch. We'll keep following the story and bring you more updates as it develops. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more finance and global news explained in simple terms. Thanks for watching, and stay informed.